please. I don't know if you're in the shot. Trent, you can come over here. Wonderful. Are folks ready? My glasses are... Anyway. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I am joined, let me first acknowledge City Councilor Kenzie Bach, who is here. I'm also joined by my Chief of Environment, Energy, and Open Space, Reverend Mariama White-Hammond. Tren Nguyen is here, the Director of Office and Workforce Development. We also have Rashad Cope, Director of Youth Engagement and Employment, Dr. Rufus Falk, Director of Public Safety, Talia Wright-Rivera, Director of Street Outreach Advocacy Response, which is our SOAR program, and Darvo Jefferson, who is the Service Delivery Manager for SOAR. In Boston and across our nation, we see that climate change is presenting unique challenges and disrupting daily life. With this powerful nor'easter storming the East Coast, we are already experiencing high winds and rainfall, which we expect will continue, potentially lead to flooding in some areas here in the city of Boston. Residents are encouraged to take public transportation rather than drive, and I would encourage that every single day. But if you must drive, please be careful. Careful with your surroundings. Watch out for fallen limbs and trees and down power lines. Avoid flooded areas and help prevent flooding by clearing out your catch basins and any leaves and debris that may be near your house, particularly the sewers near your home. I want everyone to know that the City of Boston is coordinating their efforts. The Department of Public Works and Water and Sewer Commission are addressing flooding in the area. We have the Parks Department out. So many folks are working. We have constant communication with Eversource. They are working with our Department of Public Works, Parks and Rec around fallen poles, trees, etc. in the area. There is a plan in place to respond to any calls for services. Any non-emergency situations, folks should call 311. Obviously, for an emergency, you should call 911. The frequency and the severe weather that we are experiencing today is a reminder of the urgency of climate change. It is precisely why we cannot wait, we cannot delay in strengthening Boston's climate resilience. It is why I am proud to announce our new Youth Green Jobs program to provide unemployed and underemployed young people across our city with career development opportunities. This is a partnership between various city departments, as you see reflected here, including our other agencies across the city, including U Boston. Together, we are developing a robust program to ensure the economic future of our young people here in the city of Boston. We know that COVID-19 has exacerbated many longstanding inequities in our city, and this program will support Boston communities hit particularly hard by the socioeconomic impacts of the pandemic while connecting young people to resources that they will need to grow and succeed in the green economy. This initiative builds upon my commitment to protect the environment and grow opportunities in the green economy. My fiscal year 2022 operating budget includes $1 million for green jobs, with an additional $3 million with funding through the American Rescue Plan. To best inform our work in this program, we created a community advisory board to develop an investment plan driven by the needs and the values that are reflected by our community. And I want to thank all of those who participated in our community advisory board and who have been involved in getting us to this point. We created the Green Jobs request for information to request feedback on the future of green jobs, and we created a request for proposals for catalyst grants for green and mobility job training, which we provided up to $1.5 million in financial support to expand training. This initiative is modeled after the Philadelphia Power Corps program, which follows a two-phase process. The model supports an earn and learn model, and I'll repeat that, earn and learn model, practice to ensure members enter and succeed in career pathways. Phase 1 will include a foundation training, and Phase 2 will include fellowships and post-secondary education support. My hope is that we will continue to invest in the green economy to make Boston a more sustainable and equitable place. I want to thank all of our partners as we continue to work toward a greener workforce and a greener Boston. And now I will turn it over to my Chief of Environment, Energy, and Open Space, Reverend Mariama White-Hammond, who will offer some remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. So I want to say we had originally planned to be out in front of one of our urban wilds, and I was a little sad that Mother Nature did not exactly cooperate with us today. But this nor'easter is really a clear example of why this work is so important. We are not looking towards climate change, we are experiencing it right now, and it will only get worse. And in many ways, being here is also an important and appropriate location to launch this Green Jobs program. It was about 20 years ago that when I was engaged, 15 years ago when I was engaged with Project Hip Hop, that I was co-located in the office with YOU. We were together engaging young people in this neighborhood and around the city, particularly those young people who are struggling with issues of being engaged in the criminal justice system. Young people are struggling with the educational inequities that find many of them not on a track for the kind of career jobs that allow them to raise their families in the city of Boston and remain. Every summer, we do a survey with the young people before the summer was to begin to ask them where they saw themselves in 10 years. And every year, without fail, at least one young person would write dead on that survey. At least one young person would say they didn't know if they were going to make it. At least one young person would talk about trying to hope that they could avoid prison, because when they looked at the other people that they knew, that's where they were going, and that's where they were. And so we are here not just because climate change is real, but because there are folks in our city who are struggling. There are young people who I've known my whole lives that find themselves on career tracks that are dead end. And those same young people find themselves living in South Bay or being pushed to other parts of the state because they cannot afford to stay in the city that they grew up in and love. And so I'm excited to be standing here with folks. In fact, the majority of folks that are standing up here I have known since I was a youth worker back in the day, like 23, 24, out here trying to work with and recruit young people. And I have to tell you, I would never have imagined if you had told me at that time where I'd see myself in 10 years that I'd be here. And so I want to thank the mayor for the opportunity to serve in this role. When Chris Cook first called me and they brought me in for a meeting, I did not see myself as a government official. I had always been an advocate, and it never had occurred to me that I would serve on this side. But it's a real opportunity to reach back and to pull up young people that I've known and worked with throughout my career. So we are really excited to be replicating the Philly Power Core model. Of course, it'll have our own Boston flair, but we can learn a lot from the city of brotherly love. And I want to thank Councilor Bach, especially. She was dogged in saying, no, you have to look at this model. And I also want to give a special thank you to Julia Halengas, the executive director in Philadelphia, who has opened up everything we needed to know, has been helpful. We put together our executive director job description, so that will be out soon. If you're watching this and you care about young people and green jobs, we hope you'll apply. But I also want to give a shout out to Aaron Kirkland, the very first person we met. He works at the Philly Water Department, and he came through the Power Core model and now serves as a supervisor, hiring other folks to come work on the green stormwater infrastructure. Aaron's example of what is possible when we give a chance to young people that others have overlooked, when we recognize the leadership that they have and ask them to move it in a direction that is more positive, convinced me that we needed to bring this model here. So Mayor, when you hired me, I said 6 months from my hire date, I'd bring you a plan. And it was exactly 6 months since my start date yesterday. And really looking forward to working together with everyone here to make sure that green jobs happen, not just in general, but that we put at the front of the line those young people who our city owes the opportunity to show what they can do. And we look forward. Right now, the tree division is out there answering calls.
That's right.
If you have a call about a tree, please call 311. They're out there answering these calls. But currently, we have to hire contractors from other parts of the state to come help us. This time next year, it is my sincere hope that our own young people will be out responding, being able to work in their neighborhoods, providing the service and support we need to be the kind of resilient city that we are and that we will need to be even more in the years to come. Thank you. I want to invite next to the podium Trin Nguyen to share a little bit more from the Office of Workforce Development.
Thank you so much. It's hard to follow two powerful women in front of me, so I thank both of them for their leadership, their commitment, and their passion, which is so needed. And I do want to say that change happens inside out. You have to bring community inside government and work together to make change happen. So I'm so glad, Mayor Janey, you make always the right decisions to move Boston forward. I want to thank you for that. I want to thank Councilor Bach for her leadership, her commitment, for drilling down every single program and really pushing city government to always do its best, because at the end of the day, we wake up in the morning to serve. And the question we always ask is, how do we best serve our community? That's our job, and that's our priority. Good morning, and thank you all for being here today. My name is Trin Nguyen, and I'm the Director of the Office of Workforce Development. Thank you to our partners for your continued support, who are always on the front line during the pandemic. People don't see youth workers as frontline workers. We don't see case managers, ESOL teachers, janitors, grocery market workers. They're all frontline and essential workers, and they helped us through the pandemic. So I want to thank youth workers and teachers and instructors who've been out there in the front lines. I also want to thank our partners for their continued support, who are always here for us. Thank you to the Roxbury Center for Financial Empowerment, which operates under the Office of Workforce Development, and Youth Options Unlimited for hosting such an important event. I want a special thank to Mayor Janey for her bold and forward-thinking and actionable items. This isn't in my speaking points, but I have to say that I've worked for the late Mayor Menino and Mayor Walsh and Mayor Janey. And I have to say, Mayor Janey doesn't wait. This woman takes it out and make actionable steps. There's no time to wait. There's urgency today. And so I want to thank Mayor Janey. Every time I've been in City Hall and city government for quite some time, I get these calls like, we're ready to do this. And I want to say thank you, Mayor Janey, from the bottom of my heart, that when I come to the city and work every day, I want change to happen, just like my colleagues. And to have your leadership to make bold changes, I want to take the time to say thank you for your service. And it's not easy to be bold and say, I want to make change today and tomorrow. So I want to thank Mayor Janey and recognize her for that. And this is a prime example of starting a green core job for young people to not even provide just experience and knowledge, but a career pathway that changes their entire life. It's not just a 12-week curriculum or a 6-month job internship. It's not just the learn and earn model. It's a 10 to 15 to 20-year investment on young people. We won't let you down. We got you. And we to the best of our ability, will do that. We all know that there are ample research and demonstrated practices that show that investing in youth and our workforce and climate change is a win-win model. Young people show positive outcomes in leadership, engagement, and real change. Financial resources are then reinvested back into the economy by investing in clean energy, climate action change, and the ecosystem. That money then is reinvested into our community to make the environment improves and provide good quality jobs to our residents. That's a business model. You can pull that up in every single research, financial resources, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times. We know that those best practices work. So let's just do it. We don't have the time to wait anymore. Today's announcement provides an innovative approach to combine training and work to create real opportunities for youth. Core members will develop skills that will allow them to advance their careers, serve their communities, and earn competitive wages. We look forward to ensuring the success of this program in partnership with all of you. I want to thank everyone for being here, the opportunity to serve, and Mayor Janey and Chief Reverend White Hammond and Councilor Bach and all our partners and youth workers here. Thank you so much.
I also want to recognize that we are joined by our Chief of Equity and Inclusion, Selena Barrios-Milner. Thank you so much for being here. Are there any questions? Great. That means we said it all. Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you again to this amazing team. Thank you, guys.
Exactly. Everybody gets it. I like that.